make sure it's kosher. Lean on me like Bill Withers until you smell the roses. What's happening, fam? L.A.R. movement still moving. Subscriber die trying. You see the thumbnail, man. It's Channing Crowder, man. The Pivot. I love the show. I love the show, and they had a show with him, Ryan, and Fred that was serious for Memorial Day, and they had some clips of it. You know what I'm saying? And Channing said something that got me because he's a character, and we're gonna get into this part.
Like the happiest guy, the jokester, the class clown, the dude that, lights up the room, whatever, the great charismatic guy, they also have trouble. They also have demons. They also have insecurities. And my personality was built off insecurities. Was built off not having money coming up, built off wearing the Avias and all, built off, not really having the resources growing up. So I had to be funny. That's how I got in the room, to be funny. And I think it was built about that. So, even the guy, to your point, the happiest dude in the room, ask him how he's doing. For real. A lot of people don't ask me because to the point that I'm always happy, I'm laughing, I'm always brightening everyone else's day. His day must be fine because he's brightening everybody else's life. I would say that's not a fact. That person that brightens other people's lives, they're just good at brightening people's day.
That's the Pivot, man. Y'all got to check it out on YouTube if you never watch it. Channing is a character. I can say I understand that wholeheartedly because I'm like that. And I can say I got good at brightening people's day. But clowning, making people laugh, joking, picking people up, I think people don't understand this. Sometimes the funniest people in the world, the happiest people in the world, have went through the most painful things. And they know how to cut through the pain to get to a smile. You get what I'm saying? Some people know how to do that. Some people are good at that. But just because somebody is happy or jovial or can brighten your day or is the life of the party, it does not mean that person isn't going through something or has never went through something or isn't even sad in that moment. Sometimes people do things to make other people smile so they know it still exists, so they can figure out how they can give themselves one. You know what I'm saying? Tell this story, sentimental. It chokes me up all the time. My grandfather had a stroke when I was a kid. He was bedridden. He couldn't move anything, bedridden. And there were two real important things that happened. One day, he couldn't talk, couldn't do nothing, he couldn't move like that. One day, he just broke down crying. And, And my grandmother went to his bedside and she just sat there with him and rubbed him and loved him and just let him know that she was there. Because it was like he was there, but he was kind of locked into his body because he had a stroke. So, he wasn't, mentally he was going through it. And then one day, me and my cousin were in the kitchen, which was right next door to his room, and my cousin was making a weight gainer milkshake, like a creatine milkshake, if y'all don't know what that is. So he was taking the weight gainer and some milk and some ice cream and some Ensure, because back in the day Ensure used to come in packets. And we sitting in the kitchen arguing, and while we arguing, I'm like, put the top on the blender. And he is like, man, I do this all the time. And I'm like, bro, if you don't put this top on this blender, this stuff gonna be everywhere. And he's like, it's not gonna be everywhere. If you fill it to a certain point, it don't splash. I'm like, okay, I'm out. You're stupid. So I walk out of the kitchen, next room with my granddad, and my cousin hits the buzz. Turns the power on, you splash. Now I've told this story before. and you just hear it just slushing all over the kitchen, and he like, oh God. And my grandfather, bedridden, can't move, just in tears laughing. And that at a young age taught me that, you know, everybody needs a little smile in their life, a little laugh. That was, even though we couldn't speak, because we were speaking, when I walk out the kitchen, I'm looking at my granddad like, this stupid. And my granddad looking at me like, it's about to go down. And then what happens is like, it's hilarious. But I say that to say, you know, I learned I was like in the 3rd grade. I learned at that moment that no matter what you're going through, something can make you laugh to cut through everything. But that doesn't mean you're not going through something. And people have a tendency to wait on the person who's the life of the party to come through and be the life of the party, because they're waiting on that. And people have a tendency to wait on the person. This person gonna come here, they're gonna do this, we're gonna bust up laughing, they're gonna brighten our day, and they cool, they good people. That's great. But people don't have the tendency to say, man, you know what? How you doing? I mean, I know you in here cracking up and all that and having fun, but how you really doing though? You alright? Like, are you straight? And people will go, you know, Cause I'm cold blooded. I can tell y'all, like one of my friends had a stroke, like 2 years ago. He's still sick to this day. And you know, he was you know, he was learning how to walk and talk again. He was stuttering, and me and him used to get on each other. We used to talk bad about each other. And I said, listen, man, I don't want to talk about you right now because your heart bad. I don't want to get your heart attack and kill you, because you know I'm gonna clown you. And everybody we did like, you know what, you horrible. And he just sitting there, he's shaking a little bit. He's like, you motherfucker. And I said, but I'm gonna talk bad about you to get so you get angry enough to respond without stuttering. And I would send him the Harlem Nights, like clips from Harlem Nights of the boxer. So when he would start, I'd be like, yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm ready. And he'd be like, you mother. And then he started talking. He cussing me out. And then he got his speech back, and he started clowning the hell out of me. And it was great. You know what I'm saying? But how can I say this? I think of Robin Williams a lot. You know, in the sense of a person that made everybody else laugh took his life. There was nobody to bring him happiness when he needed it the most. And you know, people say, and I thought, you know, when you talk to people in psychology, they'll tell you some of the happiest people, some of the people who are most happiest outwardly to the world are people who might take their own life. And people are like, I don't see it coming. I don't know what this person was such a great person. They were so giving. They were so loving. They was da-da-da-da-da. But nobody checks on them because they're such a great person to everybody else. People forget to be a great person for them. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you got to look at people, even if they smiling, even if their eyes are smiling, and just say, are you really good though? You know what I'm saying? Are you really good? It doesn't matter if somebody is super rich and you think they got everything, they can still have that issue. If somebody is super poor and they're making it, you know, because when people are poor and broke, you know, people can check on you. But check on the people who you feel like got it together. Trust me, it'll mean the world to them. All right, so I'm done. You know, like, share, subscribe, or die trying. Tell me what you think. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace.